Dioramas, origami, catapults, and trebuchets, telescopes, terrariums, bonsai trees, and paper games, swords and shields, and real blacksmithing, model rockets, animation. I teach the art of real creation. StormTheCastle.com. Let's make something.
Greetings, it's Will from StormTheCastle.com, and here on YouTube you know me as Epic Fantasy, and here's my latest video. This is an update video on the stained glass night. I think I posted one or two videos about this one of them called Regret and the Stained Glass Night. So there's a long story behind this window. If you're interested, you might want to find that video and watch it, because I think there's an interesting story behind why I made this stained glass window. And it's just about done, and I wanted to just update you on where it's at. So here's the actual color reproduction of the original 100-year-old German window. Isn't that beautiful? And now let's take a look at where it stands right now. It's pretty much all done. I love this window. The only thing remaining is for me to paint to paint it. Like, there's a lot of textures and paints on the window, and I have to do that. But let's take a look. And I made a light box specifically for this project. I have a YouTube video, very popular one, on how to make a light box. I'll put a link in the description of this video if you'd like to make a cardboard light box. It's really quite easy. But there you go. There is the stained glass night. Come out wonderful. So what I'm going to do now here is, if you'd like to see, it's a really interesting process making a leaded stained glass window in like the traditional way. And I'm going to walk you through that process if you'd like to hang around, stick with me, and see how something like this is done. So there's the original color version. And then what I did was I printed up a black and white version. And then I used my light box to trace out all the various parts. Now each one of those is a piece of colored glass. And then now it's a matter of cutting the various pieces of glass. And this is a rather complicated piece, so there were a lot of pieces of glass, and it took me quite a while to really get the knack and the hang of how to really cut this all well, and trimming the pieces and getting them just right. It was a wonderful, wonderful experience for me. And just like anything else, you get good at it. Let's take a look here. And I'll show you more about what this is if you don't know anything about stained glass. But, cutting all those individual pieces one at a time, choosing the colors. And now that metal that goes between all the various glass pieces, that is something called lead came. It's made of, it's lead, and it holds the whole window together. The pieces fit right into it. And it's reasonably easily shaped, and typically it comes in coils like this that you have to straighten out. And I'm going to show you a little graphic a little later on, so you can understand lead came a little bit better. And then now you see that I'm wearing gloves, because it is lead. And part of the process is doing some fine work, take the edges off, and to further get the shape on a little glass grinder. And it's just like that. Cutting all the various pieces, getting it all right like a jigsaw puzzle, putting them all together and putting the lead between them all. See, and there's partway with the progress. And sometimes with curves, it can be tricky. But like I said, and there we go. So now all the glass has been placed, all the lead has been placed, and the window is structurally completed, I guess you could say. But it would fall apart. We have to take another step here of soldering all of those various lead pieces together, which will just strengthen it all up. And it's interesting how at the time I didn't know that I fell in love with this stained glass window. I had the opportunity to go to London and buy it in auction, and I didn't. And I regret that. And it's in the other video. Little did I know at the time that this night is on a pilgrimage. 12 years later, I would go on a pilgrimage. So now we solder all the pieces together. And that's an interesting process, and you get better at that too, and it makes a difference in how it looks. So you practice. I actually made a small stained glass window so I could practice all of this, working the lead and cutting the glass and doing the soldering and all of that. So this window would come out better. Because with a little bit of practice, you can make those solder joints look really nice. See that? How beautiful that one looks? Yeah, but like I said, just pretty much one more step to go, and that's painting the glass. But there you go. Now all the soldering is done. And now I do have, this is just an overview. There's a lot more to making a leaded stained glass window than I'm showing you here, but I thought you might be interested in the process and how it's done. But there's our pilgrim knight on his adventure, on his pilgrimage. So there you go. See, there's the lead came, and glass fits into that like this on both sides. But that would leak. It would, whether water would get in, it would leak. So what we do is we apply something called the stained glass putty and get it into those gaps. And this will strengthen the window. It will seal it. It really makes a big, big difference. So that putty goes on, and you get it, brush it in there so it gets into underneath the lead came. Holds everything in place very well. And then you apply something called whiting powder to absorb all that oil, and you can clean it up. Really an amazing process making a leaded stained glass window. I have more on our website if you'd like to see more in-depth videos about how to do this whole process. Like, I take you through everything step by step, show you all the materials and everything. It's wonderful. I'm going to do another window of Van Gogh. I think I'm going to do his Starry Night painting, and I'm going to do a stained glass window of it. So now that whiting powder dries up, soaks up all that oil, and then we can clean it all off, and it doesn't damage the glass in any way. Does make a mess though, and that's that. So in this video, there's really just one more step to go when it comes to making a stained glass window other than painting, and that is to treat the lead came. I'll show you that. And here, so you can understand, I'll show you a little bit more there too. There we go. So technically the window's done. Doesn't that look good? Sunlight is going to do have a beautiful effect on our night. But now look at how that lead is very silver. It will oxidize over time. It won't look right. We want to pre-oxidize it and darken it. And to do that, we're using something called patina. Well, I guess we're adding patina to that lead. It will darken it up and make it black, and it will look even more beautiful. And it also protects it. And patina doesn't do anything for the glass. It causes a chemical reaction with the lead. And you just paint it on, and then you can wipe it off and dry it up. And that's it. I'll show you. And we'll take a look at how amazing it acts on the lead. And then it becomes a real official stained glass window with that beautiful black lead. So there you go. Look at that. Our stained glass window is done. Been a long project. Took me a long time to do it. Took me 12 years to realize the project, and then another year to make it. I'll do a little bit more coming. The only thing left now is see how, if you notice here on our original print, there's a lot of design on that glass. There's the olive tree and all the ornaments on his robe and his sword and his helmet and his face and all that. I got to add that. That'll be coming up. Thank you. Wonderful to talk to you.